What's up, YouTube? We are back again. My name is Gillis the Kid. I'm here with Hannah. It is now 2020, and the trailer you just saw was for the movie The Talented Mr. Ripley. It came out in 1999, and we're going to be talking a little bit about it. And it features Matt Damon, Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow. There's Philip Seymour Hoffman. There's also the guy from the Pirates of the Caribbean, Jack Davenport, who was known for what was it, the captain? I think it was James Norrison. And there's a couple other characters too, but
yep.
So yeah, well, Matt Damon, he's the main character. And the movie is set in like the 1950s or the late 1950s, and he was basically like a con man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was able to like forge signatures. He was like an impersonator, and then life wasn't going too well for him in New York, so. He meets Herbert Greenleaf, which is a businessman. He's rich. He owns sailboats?
Yeah, shipping yard.
Yeah, and then he basically tells Tom Ripley to go to Italy to bring his son back, because his son was sort of like a playboy.
He was just partying around.
Yeah. Well, actually, later on, we'll tell you why he's in Italy. And he tells Tom to go to Italy, just to bring him back to America, because his dad was funding him. Mm-hmm. So he had pretty much a unlimited amount of money.
Yeah.
And Jude Law, he plays as Dickie Greenleaf,
the son,
which is the son. And he has a girlfriend played by Gwyneth Paltrow. Marge was her name. So yeah, he gets to Italy. And,
wait, there's a catch. The father pays him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The only reason he went was because of the money.
Right. Well, the dad thought that he actually went to school with his son to Princeton.
Yeah. It started off in Central Park, and
yeah, he
was just playing the piano, and he had the seal on his shirt, so he thought, oh, he must.
Right. He saw like the school seal on his shirt. So yeah, he gives him $1,000
just to get his son back.
To go to Italy to get his son back, which probably in those days was probably around $2,000.
A lot more, right?
Well,
if it was like steamboat time and there was no airplanes, that's still a lot of money.
We'll say $3,000. I'm not quite sure.
I think it's quite more than that. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're not good with estimating money.
Yeah, I'm
historically, but I think it's a lot of money.
Yeah. So when he gets to Italy, he meets Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
I forget her occupation though.
She was another rich kid's.
She's just like
a rich person's kid. I only remember that she was a Logue, and they had a textile company. And Tom immediately knew. Mm-hmm. Once she said the last name, he already knew she was rich.
Right. And funny thing is, remember when he got there and he's like, "Oh, I'm Dickie." Like,
yeah, he already introduced himself as Dickie to this girl.
But he didn't even know. Well, I guess he could have guessed, but what if Dickie was like black or something, and he?
Well, you could see the dad already, and the mom was there on the wheelchair.
Like right off the bat, he's like, "Oh, I'm Dickie Greenleaf."
And the problem is if Meredith knew Dickie, because like it's rich people's, like in the middle of the movie, they go to a theater. It's like all these rich people. Of course, they should know each other.
I mean, yeah, she heard of him, and she knew he was wealthy. She just never actually seen him.
See, that means that $1,000 was a lot more before, because you only know people by name. Yeah. Like right now, you can just Google them up.
So, I mean, what, he was planning this from the beginning?
He was
just to take his identity?
Yeah, he was planning it. You saw how that part where he found out he had a friend, Philip?
Yeah.
And his face changed. Like, his plan had to change somehow, because he thought Dickie only had Marge and nobody else.
Right.
It would have been easy to just fool other people.
Right.
But Dickie knew a whole bunch of people.
Well, there's also a part on the beach where, he grabs, what was it, the glasses? He did something. He took the shoes with the glasses, and then he was like, "Oh, hey, it's me, your buddy from Princeton."
And he was all white.
He's like, "I don't remember him."
I don't think, if I was Dickie that time, I would have like, no. Because he was all white.
Yeah.
Obviously, he just came there to.
But even Dickie didn't remember Tom. Like, he didn't remember who he was.
Yeah, but if it's Princeton.
Yeah. And then, he went to their house.
And Marge invited.
Yeah, he started impersonating his dad.
Yeah, and then Dickie started like goosebumps and like. And the same voice, the same word. That's how Dickie found out he was hired.
I mean, he had a hotel, and then Dickie was like, "Yeah, you can come and stay with me."
Yeah, but he doesn't have a lot of money. $1,000, and he's staying in a hotel. If there's a free house with the free food, I'd go there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't. The only money he's got is that $1,000 from the dad.
Right. I mean, it was enough money to go over there, maybe stay a couple of days, and tell him to come back. Like, it definitely wasn't enough money for one or 2 months.
I don't think so. But he traveled across Atlantic. So, I don't know. I think it was paid though, because remember on the taxi not taxi. Their car was like first. He was on a first class.
Yeah, everything was pretty much paid for as far as like transportation goes. And then he started to. Then he noticed that, Dickie had another girlfriend.
Oh yes, Sylvania, something like that. Yeah.
A young Italian girl, and then at the time they didn't know she was pregnant, but he knew that he had like another girlfriend. And then he started like falling for Marge.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know.
So after that, that's when they started going out to like the bar. Singing.
Yeah, they became buddies, brothers.
Which there is a point I'm gonna come back to.
What?
Early or later in the movie. So yeah, they started going out, hanging out. He can see now that Dickie is rich. He's living the life.
I think he was studying to become Dickie too.
Yeah, wasn't he? He was in the mirror or something, like trying to sound like.
Yeah, they were traveling around, and then Tom was like, "Oh, that's when they met Philip."
Yep.
Tom was like, "Don't miss the train."
His real friend from Princeton.
Yeah, don't miss the train. So Tom thought Dickie missed the train, and he was in his room with all his clothes and all that stuff. And then Dickie comes home, and he's all surprised, like, "What? Can get off my clothes or something?" Whatever.
And then Freddie, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, Philip, he always plays like the sort of like the bully type characters, or sometimes bully, sometimes annoying. But in this movie, he was
both.
He was a little bit of both. And that's when
Tom didn't like Freddy.
Yeah. Well, remember when like they got together?
Because Dickie tells him everything.
Yeah. Well, he sort of like, went off on his own.
Uh-huh.
So, what's the word for it? They like excluded him from
boxed him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were planning to go on a ski trip. And then when this thing happened where he was wearing Dickie's clothes and Dickie told Freddy, and then they said like, oh, the ski trip's off. Or he wasn't included.
And at the same time, Sylvana saw them when they came back from the trip.
The boat trip.
And she I think she jumped off a cliff and killed herself.
There was it was a Christian celebration, and then they were floating herself. And then she started to float up. Yeah, and she was pregnant. She asked Dickie for money, and Dickie, the rich guy, didn't even give her money.
Nope.
Why?
I mean, he was just an asshole, really.
Yeah, true.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Because he was telling Marge that we're gonna get married and move up north. So they just never actually did that.
Yeah. And he goes to bars and then sees girls at every different bar. So he's just.
And Freddy was a bad influence too. So he was always like, "Yeah, come on, let's go out."
Yep.
So. And then what was the other guy's name?
Which one? Peter?
Oh, Peter. Yeah.
Peter.
Which is a little bit later on.
Yeah, Peter is Marge's friend. Like, yeah.
And then, after he sees Tom wearing his clothes, and then after the death of Sylvana, that's when they went out on the boat.
Yeah, they were traveling around because I don't think Dickie wanted to stay in that city where Sylvana. I don't know if it's a town where Sylvana died. So they were traveling around.
And Dickie's father cut off the money too.
Really?
Yeah.
How could I miss that part?
That's why he had to leave.
So he
was.
He had to go to the city to get some money out in a different way.
Yeah. Plus, it's cheaper. I think Venice was cheaper.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Well, I can't live here anymore."
They went to different cities until they reached Santa Rosa.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was one of those towns.
Yeah. And then Dickie was like, I think this is going to be the last time we're going to travel together.
Wasn't it kind of weird, though, where he's like, we can live together and be together?
Yeah, that was Tom. That's why when you said that Tom was starting to like Marge, and there was a part where it was kind of weird for the two guys. So I'm like, I don't really know.
I'm like, why would
Tom
he want to like live with you?
Yeah, I don't really know Tom's status, because
after he told him that
it was the last trip.
He like takes the oar and like hits him in the head with.
No, they were out on a boat.
Yeah,
and they were. Dickie started calling him Leech, and then he started blacking out, and they started fighting.
He basically told him he didn't want to
be with him anymore.
Yeah. So after he kills Dickie, he actually becomes Dickie.
No, he wasn't really trying, because when he went to the hotel guy was like, Mr. Greenleaf, right? And then something tinged in his head like, I can do this.
That's when he decided to become him. Yeah. Because he rented out the hotel and then rented out another hotel for Tom. Just to make it look like they were communicating together and he was still alive.
Yeah.
I think at the same time, like his dad was sending letters too, like, "Hey, what's going on? Like you've been over there for a while."
Yeah. And then he went back. Tom went back to Marge, faking some letter, saying.
Yeah, he was typing it up because he knew how. Yeah,
he was studying.
Dickie used to write.
He was studying Dickie the whole time he was in that house.
And then he meets Meredith. Like she comes out of nowhere. So now he really had to act like two people, just so she wouldn't find out who he was trying to impersonate. And
that's when the problem comes out, because Meredith knows Philip too.
Right.
And then Meredith's like, who doesn't know Philip?
Right.
And Philip knows both of them, Tom and
he came
Dickie.
to the hotel, and then the maid was like, "Yeah, Dickie's upstairs playing the piano." And he's like, "Dickie doesn't play the piano."
Yeah.
And that's how he knew.
Yeah, because Freddie knows everything about him. But wait, there was a part at the theater.
Which part?
Meredith forced Tom to go to the theater, and then Dickie doesn't watch the theater. Remember?
Yeah.
And that's where Marge and Peter was at.
Right. He
and they were like,
he had
how
it all
could...
set up like that.
Yeah, no, the theater part wasn't set up. He didn't even see Marge there. He was surprised. He even ran away.
Oh, the opera you're talking about.
Opera. Sorry.
Yeah.
Opera. It's still a theater. Opera theater. Okay. And then the setup was the restaurant the next day.
Yeah.
So Marge and Meredith met. Meredith says, "Oh, I was with Dickie at the opera
saying, "Oh
theater."
yeah, I was hanging out with Dickie, and Dickie punched my face, and then or what else did he say? Dickie's at the hotel. Like I'll drop you off."
Yeah. So Meredith is believing every word Tom says.
Yeah. Because then, Freddie came to the hotel.
Yeah, that's when Freddie.
And he's like, I know what's going on here.
Yeah, because he didn't really know, but he was going downstairs and he met the lady again, and then I think she's
It was the maid.
The maid, and then she's like, "Yeah, that's Dickie Greenleaf right there," and then she points him. And it's Tom, and then Freddie comes back up, and then...
There he's looking over the balcony, like, oh.
Yeah. So, I knew it. Freddie would have been the first one to know the truth.
And he had Freddie, like, putting him in the car.
Oh, yeah, he struck him. He struck him in the head.
Yeah.
So he was already dead, and then...
Because he seen, like, he went to his hotel. He's like, where'd you get all this stuff from? Was this place furnished? He was like, yeah, where are you getting all this money from? Because
this is not... No, he thought Dickie rented that place out, but it's not Dickie's taste. That's not how Dickie wants his stuff.
Right.
Because Freddie is... They've been friends for the longest time, so he knows everything.
Right.
Like Dickie's taste, whatever Dickie does. So he's like, was it furnished? This is not how Dickie would set this place up. Yeah. So Tom struck Freddie. Freddie dies. Tom takes him to his car, drives him off, fakes his
Didn't he stuff him
death.
in the trunk?
No.
He was in the front seat. Yeah,
he was in the front seat. He threw him off the cliff. I think he threw the car off the cliff too. I don't know. But it came out Freddie was drunk and he just fell.
Yeah, and then after that...
That's where the police started coming in.
Yeah, well, his dad finally came to Italy.
That was later.
Yeah, to see what was going on.
But the police was first. The police started interrogating Tom. Like,
yeah.
It looked like Freddie was dead long before the fall.
But the cops they were kind of like, they weren't as smart as him.
No.
Like, he was always like 2 steps ahead of them. Like, he always had a motive every time they asked him a question.
Yeah, but there was one time that they were really after him, but he was already going to Venice to see Peter.
Yeah, well, it wasn't until like his dad brought that private investigator over and he found like the license plates and stuff in the
Yeah, but they were already in Venice with Peter then.
Yeah.
That's when the dad came over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, by that time they already suspected like he was dead anyway.
Yeah.
And then Tom wrote like the suicide note
to himself.
So
he wrote a note pretending he was Dickie.
Yeah.
And then he went to Peter in Venice, and then the police
saying that he killed Freddy too.
Yeah, police was blaming him so many things, and then shows the letter that he wrote, and he's like, "You read it?" And then, "You guys read this letter, and you're saying that I killed this, and blah blah blah." Yeah. And then when he reads the letter, he's like, he pretends to be the first time to reading this letter, and he's like, "It looks like a suicide note."
Yeah.
So then he's free from the Italian police.
Right. Well, they had to let him go because they didn't have much against him.
Yeah, that's when Marge came to visit Peter.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
and then the parents
Marge
were
and
there,
Peter,
or friends.
Yeah,
and then Marge brought in Dickie's dad, and Dickie's dad brought in the private investigator.
Yeah. Well, they all knew each other in their little circle.
Yeah, rich people's circle.
And then he was like, wasn't he like falling for Peter too?
Yeah, I told you it's kind of what, like when you said that he liked Marge. I'm like, it looked like he liked more of the two men than Marge. So I don't know the status.
Because he couldn't kill Marge on the boat because
it was Meredith on the boat.
That's right, Meredith.
That was later though. Wait, go to the private investigator part. And then Marge and Peter, they visit Tom's place, and
right.
Marge is like, "How can you afford this place?"
Well, no. She what really set her off was she found the rings.
Yeah, but she was already asking how he could afford this money because it's a pretty far stretch for $1,000, and that house was pretty big.
He pretty much gave himself away. Like he was spending all the money. Then she found Dickie's rings.
Yep.
And Dickie promised to her that he would never take it off.
Yeah.
So that's how she knew.
So that's when Tom says Dickie gave it to him.
Yeah.
Which made it like a.
She knew he was lying because he promised her, like, I would never take these rings off. And he had both.
Yeah, but he made too many promises. Dickie made too many.
And he was wearing the other one.
That was still, both of them were actually. Yeah. The one in the pinky is what Marge gave him.
Yeah. But why would you have to wear his ring just to be him? Like
he wanted to.
That's too obvious. Every time someone met up with him, he's like, "Oh man, I gotta take off the ring."
Yeah, I remember that part where Freddy came into the house and he couldn't take out the ring.
He had his other ring on. He was.
Yeah, he was rushing to take his.
Well, he was gonna kill
Freddy anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, no, he was gonna kill Marge too in the hotel.
Oh, he was about to. He already had this shaving knife in his pocket, and then Marge was at the door, and Peter pops open. What? See, it's weird. He gave Peter the keys to his house.
Yeah. I guess he went both ways. I don't know.
I don't know. But then that's how Marge was so angry, like, I know you did it. And then the next day, Marge goes to the father, and then the father's like, I think you have to talk to my detective.
Yeah.
And then Tom already know he was busted. Right. It's like, no. But they still left, and it was Tom and the detective. So... Actually,
what saved him was... Dickie actually had a history of violence.
Yes.
So the reason Dickie even went to Italy in the first place is because he beat the shit out of some guy.
Yes, he was kicked out of his dad's place, sent him to Italy, and all that. He had a lot of history, and then the investigator was like, we don't want the Italian police to know of all these history, so Mr. Greenleaf offers you blah blah blah. Right. I think it was like shush money, like we'll give you half of Dickie's trust fund just to shut up, and the Italian police shouldn't know. That went in a pretty good way for Tom.
It didn't go the way I wanted it to go.
If I was Tom, I'd be happy already. It was half of somebody's trust fund. He would have been in trouble if it was real, like if the dad really cared for his kid. But I guess this kid has been partying too much, beating shit out of people too much, and this investigator even knew that Tom it wasn't his real name. Mm-hmm. He even knew that Silvana was pregnant with Dickie's kid. He even knew that Tom killed Dickie at Santa Rosa already. He knew everything. I mean, but they still offered him half of Dickie's trust fund just to shush him up. Because, I mean, he's already dead. All they need to keep is their family name. They just want
some people.
It's like back then, like I said, when Meredith told her last name, everybody knew she was rich. Yeah. Like if you say Greenleaf now, if Italian police found out Dickie was all this mess, it's gonna be Greenleaf, rich, and this shitty son. So to shush the shitty son part, they gave half of Dickie's money to Tom.
Yeah.
That's how it went. But of course, Marge wouldn't agree to that because she's like, I know you did it.
The thing is, when Meredith saw him on the ship.
Oh, yeah. So after the shush money, the father and Marge and the detective left. And it's Peter and... What's this? Peter and Tom.
Peter and Tom.
Partying around now. Of course, Tom's got the money.
Well, he was gonna kill Meredith too, but her family was with her, so he couldn't do that because she was the only one that could actually tell Peter that he's really Tom and not Dickie. Yeah. So
I thought they had something though, Tom and Peter, but he chose to kill.
Well, he chose to kill Peter since
Peter's the
Meredith
only one.
already knew who she thought he was.
So complicated.
So a lot of twists and turns.
I told you it's a complicated movie. Yeah, so it ended up Tom killing Peter.
Well, this is my first time seeing it actually, and I understood it. But for some people, I was reading up on it, and some people think that the police didn't find out what Tom did. And some people think they actually did find out.
I think the Italian police didn't know. It's the private investigator, though, on the other hand, knew everything.
Yeah. Well, he's getting paid by his dad, so why would he rat him out anyway?
Yeah.
And, well, it's weird because all you hear is like, I'm sorry. You just hear him like strangling Peter at the end.
And he was crying too, so he did really like Peter.
Yeah. And funny thing is, he kept telling people like, yeah, I have a fiance in America. I'm about to get married. It's like, really?
Weirdo. Yeah.
So, there is a book. I didn't read the book.
It's just titled the same way.
Some people like to read the book before they watch the movie.
I would, because like you can imagine it. Sometimes when you read it, you can make your own imagination.
Sometimes the book ends differently.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it.
It's a twisted movie.
I think we covered just about everything.
Yeah.
You might have to watch the movie twice just to understand it.
That's really twisted. Yeah.
If you get up and blink or whatever, if you miss a couple of parts of the movie, you might be confused.
Yeah.
But this have been the talented
Mr. Greenleaf. No.
the talented
Mr. Ripley.
See?
Mr. Greenleaf. We don't even know his real name.
Oh,
It shouldn't be a
it
Tom,
was just
though.
Tom Ripley, as far as I know. Yeah.
Well, he still has that trust fund, so he's good to go.
Yeah.
Not unless the Italian police catches up to him, because he has a chain of dead people on
I'm pretty
under
sure,
his belt.
Yeah. He'll slip up
Yeah.
with someone.
How many people did he kill? 3. It was
three?
Dickie, Freddie, and then Peter. Oh man.
At first, I thought he killed Sylvania, but then the camera switched back to him, and he was in the room, and I was
Yeah.
like, "All right, it's not him."
Yeah, she jumped for sure. She
Yeah.
jumped. That one's for sure.
Yeah.
I still don't get it. Why didn't he just give her the money?
Yeah. Why would you?
I don't know, to shush her up.
Nope.
He doesn't have enough money, just like his dad, because his dad would give half of the trust fund just to shush Tom.
And you never know. He could have been a killer before he even got to Italy. You know. They
Who, Dickie?
Tom. They never really.
I think
told you.
he has a lot of.
I don't think he started
With
killing
how
when
he killed Dickie in the first place, it looks like he has a blackout very often.
Right. But that's about it. Let us know what you think down into the comments. We will get back to you. We'll have some more movies coming up pretty soon. And we will catch you on the next one. Peace.